friends. So today in this video lecture we will discuss one more application of the operation amplifier, and that is the log amplifier and the anti-log amplifier. So basically this kind of the amplifier is required when the dynamic range of the data is very high. Means when you are doing some kind of a measurement, then your output voltage is in order of a microvolt, as well as it is also in order of few hundred volt. So the range of the data is from a microvolt to some 100 volt, and when you plot the graph, then it is difficult to select the range. So here in that case we have to compress this data, and for the compression of the dynamic range of this voltage, we can use this log amplifier. This log amplifier can be also used to measure the voltage in terms of the dB, as well as also it is used in a spectral analyzer. So now let us see what is a log amplifier. So in the operation amplifier, here when we connect a transistor in a feedback path, now instead of transistor also you can connect a diode. So when we are connecting this kind of an active device in the feedback path, then that circuit will work as a log amplifier. So if you look at this here, for the operational amplifier, this non-inverting terminal is connected to the ground. So according to the concept of a virtual short or the virtual ground, at this point my potential here VA will be also equal to 0. So the collector voltage is 0. Now the base is also connected to the ground. So this voltage across this, it is a 0 volt. Now here if you see base to emitter voltage, this is my base to emitter voltage VBE. But the base voltage is 0. So the VBE voltage we can write as a VE voltage. So potential at this point is VE, and here we have a output voltage VO. Now here if you see what will be the flow of the current. So the current is going to be flow in this way, where you are connecting your input voltage. So the flow of the current will be through this resistance R1. Now here inside the operational amplifier, this current is a 0 current. So whatever the current is flow, that current will pass through the transistor and it will be appear at the output. It means the current flowing in the transistor is nothing but it is your collector current, or you can say it is your emitter current. So this current is your collector current. It means the current flow in the resistance R1 is also a IC. It is also a IC. So if we write the expression for the collector current, remember, for a transistor, if you see the solid state electronics, then you will find that this current for the transistor is given as, that emitter current is given as a IS into e raised to q into VBE by KT minus 1. Remember. So here what is IE? That is the emitter current of a transistor. IS is nothing but it is a saturation current. And this saturation current will be a very small, it will be a 10⁻³ ampere. That is the typical value of the saturation current. And the saturation current is also very sensitive with the temperature. Now in this formula, what is K? K is known as a Boltzmann constant. And T is a temperature. But this temperature will be in Kelvin. So for the transistor, we can write the expression for the emitter current, that is IE is equal to IS into e raised to QVBE by KT minus 1. Sometimes, remember, sometimes the Q by KT is also known as a thermal voltage. Q by KT. If you find out the dimension of this, then you will find it is a voltage. And the value of this thermal voltage is round about 26 milliwatt at a 300 Kelvin. So here if you measure this voltage, then it will come out to be a 26 millivolt and it is represented as Vt. So in some of the textbook, instead of by writing a Q by KT, it is mentioned as Vt. Correct? That is the thermal voltage. Now, here already mentioned that the base current is going to be 0 because the base is connected to the ground. It means this emitter current we can write as emitter current is equal to what? It is a base current plus a collector current. But the base current IB is 0, so the emitter current will be equal to a collector current. So we can write this expression here, instead of writing IE, we will write a IC. So IC is equal to IS into e raised to QVBE by KT minus 1. Correct? And therefore, now we have some mathematical manipulation. So IC by IS is equal to e raised to QVBE by KT minus 1, and therefore we can write as e raised to QVBE by KT equal to IC by IS plus 1. Correct? But you know that the value of IS is very small, and that is in order of 10 raised to minus 13. Your collector current will be in order of a few milliampere. So this IC by IS ratio will be very large compared to 1, and therefore we can write this as a IC by IS because the IC is too much greater than IS. Okay. Now we take a log on both the sides. So here this will be a QVBE by KT. By taking this log, remember, here it is a natural log. So here the base should be E, or we can write this as a ln. ln, that is a natural log IC by IS. And therefore the VBE will be written as a KT by Q ln IC by IS. Correct? So this is about what is the VBE. Now this VBE is nothing but it is the output voltage. Here if you see, here. Remember, if you apply the Kirchhoff's law, then this will be a positive, this is going to be a negative. This voltage is positive, and here we are measuring this voltage, then this is going to be a ground. It is going to be a ground. So this is a positive terminal and negative terminal. So if you apply the Kirchhoff's law here, then we can write that minus VBE is equal to minus VB from positive to negative, then plus now here also it is a minus VO. So this is minus VO equal to 0, and therefore we can have VO is equal to minus VBE. Okay. So if we write this expression in terms of the output voltage, then this will be the output voltage will be, instead of VB, we write minus VB. So V is equal to minus KT by Q ln IC by IS. Now, what is IC? So, that value of the IC you can find out from the input part of the circuit. And here you can see the potential is Vi, this potential is 0, therefore we can write the IC as, but the IC is equal to Vi minus 0 divided by R1, so that is equal to Vi by R1. And here we can write that output voltage is equal to minus KT by Q ln, that is Vi by R1 into IS. Here in the denominator, that is saturation current multiplied by R1. So it is representing a kind of a voltage, and that is known as a reference voltage. Remember. So here that R1 into IS will represent this as a reference voltage, and therefore we can write the output is given as minus KT by Q ln Vi by V reference. So this is the output voltage of your log amplifier. Here we can write that the output voltage is written as minus KT by Q ln Vi by V reference. So what is V reference? That is where we can write the V reference is nothing but IS into R1. So here you can see that output voltage is proportional to the log of the input voltage. Output voltage is a function of a log of the input voltage. So in that way, here you can take the log of the input signal. You can find out the log of the input signal. Now sometimes instead of a transistor, you can also have the circuit like this. Remember, that is a non-inverting terminal connected to the ground. Here you can have a inverting terminal. This is your Vi, R1, output voltage is there. Now instead of a transistor, in a fielded path, one can connect a diode. Here also actually a transistor is working as a diode because the base terminal is connected to ground. So, and the collector is also connected to a ground, that's a virtual ground. So, base to emitter junction is 0. So, here it is working as a kind of a diode. So, instead of that, directly if we connect the diode, then in that case also you will find the output voltage is equal to minus kT by Q ln Vi by V reference. And already mentioned that kT by Q is also known as a thermal voltage. So, ln Vi by V reference you can write. Same way, you can obtain this expression for a PN junction. Here in both the case, the expression will remain same. Okay. Now, what is the limitation or what kind of the difficulty is there? So, here you can see, here in this formula, we can see that whatever the reference voltage is there, this reference voltage is what? It is a Is into R1. But the saturation current, this saturation current is a function of the temperature. So with the temperature, your saturation current is going to change, and therefore the reference voltage is going to change. As a result, your output voltage will also change. So if we see the saturation current, then in a 10 degree centigrade rise in this temperature, here saturation current is going to be a double. Remember, with 10 degree rise in the temperature, the value of the Is is double. Means it is highly sensitive with the temperature. Not only that, here in this formula, the T is also a present. So at different temperature, the output voltage will be also a different. And here the saturation current is also a different for a different type of the transistor. So actually we require the circuit where your output voltage should be independent of the saturation current as well as it should be independent of the temperature. Then only one can predict what will be the output voltage. So we have to modify the circuit. Now let us see how we can compensate this output voltage with the temperature, and we can make this output voltage independent of the saturation current. So you can say this circuit is nothing but a log amplifier with temperature compensation. Correct? And if you look at this circuit, here we have a one of the log amplifier, another log amplifier is there. You can say this is a log amplifier, this one is another log amplifier, and this part of the circuit is a difference amplifier. And if you see the output part of the circuit, it is nothing but it is an amplifier, simply a non-inverting amplifier. So here this circuit is divided in two parts. So at the input we have a log amplifier, then the output of the log amplifier is given to the difference amplifier, and then we have a non-inverting amplifier. So here whatever the reference voltage is there, for the reference voltage we have a separate log amplifier, and for the input voltage another log amplifier will be there. So here if you see that output of this, that input is Vi and the output of this log amplifier, let us say at this point it is a V1. Here the V reference is there and the output of this log amplifier is, let us say, V2. Correct? Then what will happen? At this point you will find the voltage V2 minus V1 because it is a difference amplifier. And here at this point you will find the output voltage as 1 plus RF. By here we have connected RTC into a V2 minus V1. Now what is V1 and V2? So here V1 we can write as minus kT by Q ln, what is my input voltage? It is a Vi divided by the reference voltage, and that is nothing but it is Is into R1. Remember, here the transistor Q1 and the transistor Q2 both are identical. We have to select the pair of the transistor, their HFE, their rest of the parameter must be also identical. And actually when it is manufactured on the IC, then on the same silicon wafer will be there, then you can have Q1, Q2 identical. So whatever the saturation current for this IS1 and the saturation current for this is IS2, it will be a same. Remember. So here we are assuming that the transistors are identical. It means the IS1 is equal to IS2 and that is equal to IS. And therefore here I have mentioned Is into R1. Okay. Now we will write what is V2. For the V2 my input voltage is V reference. So we can write as minus kT by Q ln V reference divided by Is into R1. Is into R1. Correct? Now in the difference amplifier, the output voltage will be equal to a V2 minus V1. Correct? Output voltage is equal to V2 minus V1. So here we write Vo is equal to V2 minus V1, and that is V2 is minus kT by Q ln V reference divided by Is into R1. Now minus minus will be a plus kT by Q ln Vi divided by Is into R1. And here we can write this. If you take the kT by Q common, then into bracket it will be a ln Vi by Is into R1 minus ln V reference divided by Is into R1. And therefore, we can write as the VO dash here we will write that is the VO dash at this point. Correct? It is not a final output voltage. So VO dash is equal to KT by Q into bracket ln VI by V reference. Okay. Now this output voltage is given to a non-inverting amplifier. So actually here in the circuit we have the mistake. So this one is a non-inverting terminal and this is a inverting terminal. So the output voltage is given to a non-inverting terminal, and for the non-inverting amplifier output voltage is written as a 1 plus Rf by R1, means Rf is my R2, so that is R2, and here instead of R1 we have RTC into VO dash. Then this is equal to 1 plus R2 by RTC into, we can write KT by Q into bracket ln VI by V reference. So here we have this output voltage of this log amplifier. Now what is important here? Here my V reference voltage, if you see, this V reference voltage is not depend on the saturation current, because externally we are connecting a reference voltage. It is simply a battery. So the IS, that saturation current, IS is not present in this expression. So here you can use the transistor which has a identical value of Is, then it will be a independent of the saturation current Is. Second thing, that whatever the RTC, here we have connected a RTC, and that is the resistance with the positive temperature coefficient. What is the RTC? It is a resistor with positive temperature coefficient. It means as the temperature will increase, then the resistance will also increase. Then this RTC is multiplied with this T. So here as the temperature T will increase, that is in the numerator, but RTC is in the denominator. So proportionally the RTC will also increase, and therefore whatever the rise in the temperature is there, that is going to be cancelled out with the RTC. So here in the feedback part, if you connect the RTC, that is a temperature sensitive, then your circuit output voltage of this log amplifier will be also independent of the temperature. Okay. Now let us see one more application, that is the anti-log amplifier. This is a basic anti-log amplifier, so that you will get the idea that how we can have an anti-log of the input voltage. If you see the circuit of a log amplifier and anti-log amplifier, then just we have changed the position of the resistance and the transistor. Now here in the feedback part, the resistance is connected, and at the input the transistor is connected. Then it will work as an anti-log amplifier. Now once again you can see the non-inverting terminal is connected to the ground. It means the potential at this point is also a 0. virtual short will be there. So the potential at inverting terminal will be 0. So there is a collector is connected to 0. Now here the base is also connected to 0. So the voltage between the base to collector is 0. Now input voltage is given to a ammeter. So here if we see the VBE voltage, then this VBE voltage will be equal to a input voltage. So we can just write that the base to ammeter voltage is nothing but it is my input voltage. Okay. Now whatever the current is going to be flow here, that is a collector current. Now current to the operation amplifier is 0. So this current will flow in this way. It will pass through the resistance RF. And so this terminal will be a positive and this terminal is going to be a negative. Correct? So here this current is nothing but it is a collector current. Now we can write that the collector current for the transistor is written as a Is into e raised to QVBE by KT minus 1. QVBE by KT minus 1. But what is VBE? That is my input voltage. So I can write that IC is equal to Is e raised to QVI by KT minus 1. Correct? And here, what is IC? IC by Is plus 1 equal to e raised to QVI by KT. That you can write. But I already mentioned that this Is is very small, so that IC by Is factor is large, and in that case you can neglect the 1. So, but the IC is too much greater than Is, and therefore IC by Is equal to e raised to QVI by KT. Now, what is IC? So, to find out this IC, here we apply the Kirchhoff's law in the output part of the circuit. Okay? So, from this output port, here what is the potential? It is 0. Here we have output voltage. Now flow of the current, that is my IC. So we can write that from the output port we have IC is equal to this potential difference, that is a 0 minus VO divided by RF, or you can say minus VO by RF. And therefore, this expression we can write as minus VO by RF into IS, and that is equal to e raised to QVI by KT, or we can say VO is equal to RF into IS e raised to QVI by KT. Already we know that RF into IS you can consider it a reference voltage. So this is the output voltage of a anti-loss amplifier, and you can see that the output voltage is proportional to the exponential of the input voltage, means it is a anti-log of the input voltage. Again, here whatever the output voltage is there, it is depending on the saturation current, as well as also it depends on the temperature. So this is a basic circuit. Now for the compensation of the temperature and for the saturation current, we require some more modification in this circuit, but that we are not discussing here. That whatever the kind of the modification we have discussed in a log amplifier, the same way you can also have a modification of the anti-log amplifier. But that is out of the scope of your syllabus, and that's why I am not discussing here. So in this way, the log amplifier, anti-log amplifier is used for compressing the data. It is also used in a spectrum analyzer. It is also used for measuring the voltage in a dB, because a dB is nothing but it is a 10 log P2 by P1. So in that case you require the log of the power. So here this log amplifier you can use. It can be also used for the multiplication and the division of the two data. Let us see how we can use this log and anti-log amplifier for the multiplication. Suppose we have a y is equal to, okay, let us say we have a output voltage, or we require the voltage which is multiplication of x and y. V is equal to x and y. So how we can draw this? So here what you have to do, you can take a log of V that is equal to a log of x plus log of y. Okay? So what we can do? We can use this log amplifier also to generate the L and Y. We have another log amplifier, correct? And then for the summation, we require a summation of these two logs. Then one can use a summing amplifier, correct? So then this is again in a log, and after taking this summing amplifier, you can have a anti-log amplifier. So that will generate V is equal to x into y. See the diagram. Here, if I will apply the input voltage x, here I will apply the input voltage y. Then this is a log amplifier which will generate a ln x. Another log amplifier is there, so which will generate a ln y. Now what we require? We require the summation of this. So output of this is given to a summing amplifier. Okay? And in summing amplifier we have ln x plus ln y. So here it is in the form of the log. Now if you use a anti-log amplifier, anti-log amplifier, then you will find x into y. So ln x plus ln y means what? It is a ln x into y. And if you take the anti-log of this, you will get x into y. So in this way, you can multiply the two voltage by using a log as well as the anti-log amplifier. Now suppose you want a V is equal to x by y, means the division of the two voltage, division of the two data is required. So this can be written as ln x minus ln y. So here, due to this negative sign, what you require? A difference amplifier. Remember, you require a difference amplifier. So in this diagram, we can modify this. Instead of using a summing amplifier, I can have a difference amplifier. So that will generate ln x minus ln y. And ln x minus ln y is nothing but ln x by y. And then if you take this anti-log amplifier, so you will have x by y. So in this way, for the multiplication or the division of the voltage or current, we can use the log and anti-log amplifier. You can also find out the square of the voltage, means the x square, y square, or under root of the voltage, under root of x. So here, this is also used in a true RMS voltmeter. Because in a RMS voltmeter, we have to divide by root 2 factor. We have to take the integration. So in that case, the log anti-log amplifier are used for measuring a true RMS voltage.